Am I the a-hole for refusing to give up my seat for a pregnant woman on a 12-hour flight? I, 28 male, recently took a 12-hour flight from New York to Hawaii flight. I had paid months in advance for a comfort seat with extra room, which costed me about $200 extra plus points. Before takeoff, a visibly pregnant woman was walking up and down towards the front of the plane. Her and a flight attendant look around for a moment, talk a bit, and then the lady approached me asking if I would be willing to switch seats with her due to her condition. I politely declined. I explained that I had specifically booked this seat because I'm pretty long, I'm 6 foot tall, and that I needed the extra comfort and space. The attendant seemed understanding and went to ask other passengers near me, but no one volunteered. I felt like I was the only one giving her any attention. The pregnant lady then told me I wouldn't understand what it feels like to be a woman carrying a baby in this summer heat, got upset, and eventually had to return to her seat in the back. Throughout the flight, I felt awkward passing by her every time on the way to the bathroom. When I landed, I couldn't help but feel guilty. I'm a young man without the burden of carrying a child in me and totally could have sacrificed a bit. And wondered if I had been wrong to prioritize my comfort over someone who might have needed it more. So, am I the a-hole for refusing to give up my seat for this pregnant woman on a long-haul flight? Edit. To clarify, sorry I left this detail out. If I agreed, they would have reimbursed me for the extra cost via voucher, so that my ticket would have been the cost of the normal economy ticket. I'm not certain if the pregnant lady would have had to pay extra to switch with me because I just politely declined a few times and we didn't get into that level of detail. Am I the a-hole for telling my skinny friend that she's obese? Hi, me and my friend are both 17 female. I'm obese, nearly morbidly obese according to the internet. I don't really care about that stuff because I think self-love is more important and am happy with my weight, but it's kinda an important part. My friend Maria is average, if not quite skinny. She's made fun of my weight before, but she always says it's just a joke. She constantly asks everyone in her friend group if she's fat. I understand being insecure, but it's genuinely really excess and it's weekly, while we're eating lunch at this point. She never eats her lunch and always throws it away, then points to mine and tells me that I'm eating so much and that even half of that would fill her up. She said this every day for the past 3 or 4 months. I don't think she's on a diet or anything, neither. She just makes weird comments like that a lot. Today she asked to try my jacket on because she was cold. I thought she was actually cold, but after she said, "Oh my god, this is so huge on me. Does this actually fit you?" Obviously I'm paraphrasing, I don't remember exactly, but my other friends started to laugh. I told her that she does look fat, and she looks fatter than me, and that my jacket fits her really well. She got quiet and changed the subject, but tonight she messaged me and asked me why I would say that when I know she's insecure. I told her that I'm tired of her fishing for compliments and being rude to me because of my weight. She said that I'm just jealous of her and she left me on scene. I asked my parents for advice, but they agree with her and think I was very rude, but I don't know how else I would have made it stop. Am I the a-hole for not staying out of adult business and ruining my dad's marriage? I, 15 female, am in a weird situation and would like an outside perspective. I am my parents, mom 37 female and dad 42 male, only child together, and I have a stepmom, 42 female. From what I was told, my dad and my stepmom were a couple first, but things didn't work out shortly after they had my siblings, and my dad eventually met and married my mom after she discovered that she was pregnant with me. My dad didn't marry Eve, and from what my aunts told me, she was really bitter about that and used my siblings as a weapon to punish my dad and mom. My mom tried her best, but after she found out that my dad and Eve were sleeping together, she filed for divorce. During the marriage, my dad had an established business that grew, and because my mom was able to prove that she had done unpaid labor for my dad's business, my mom had some leverage within the divorce and agreed to relinquish a stake in the company for alimony, the house, and a car for herself while getting child support for me. For the next couple of years, my mom focused on me and going back to school, because my dad convinced her to stop while she was taking a break from her studies to save up more money. She eventually graduated and tried looking for work, but nothing really interested her. My dad and stepmom, who had gotten married by then, were always angry with my mom for not getting a job so that they would be less alimony to pay, and tried to get 50-50 custody of me to try and reduce child support, but I never liked living with my dad full time because I was often made to babysit their younger children. My older siblings were never warmed up to me, and I didn't like the way Eve and her family would talk about my mom. Eventually, my mom got certified for a job she wanted and has been an independent contractor for years. Because of this, my mom submitted the paperwork to stop alimony and she's been living life. Last week, when I was with my mom Eve, my sister Zoe 20 female, and each sisters were in the living room saying very rude things about my mom. They called her a side piece, a gold digger, and said that my older sister had to take out loans because of the increase in alimony that my mom was awarded. I walked in and called Eve and Zoe liars, that my mom was never the side piece, and my mom has been working for years so there was no alimony. There was a big confrontation and I ended up leaving, but I later sent Eve, Zoe, and one of Eve's sisters a link to my mom's professional social media page that listed the companies she worked for. Turns out my dad never told his family that the alimony payments stop, and instead of putting the extra money towards them, he's been keeping it for spending it elsewhere. It's crazy over there, and my dad and a few of his family members are saying that I'm wrong for meddling in grown folks' business. I just hated how they were talking and spreading lies about my mom. But maybe I went about it the wrong way. Am I the a-hole for divorcing my husband because of his farts? Edit. Lots of people are saying I'm lying and I really wish I was. Like truly. That he's actually already gone viral for trying to fart in a tent with me and my daughter trapped in it. Except it wasn't my daughter. It was my mom. Here's the video proof of his fart situation cause it's real and this is my actual life. Proof I'm not lying and he's rank. I truly wish this were a joke. Part of this whole situation is on me for not dating him for a long time before we got married, and a big chunk of that dating was spent having completely lost my sense of smell from COVID. That fact alone is absolutely unbelievable, but it's true. Side note, I got my smell back. The other wild part is that when we were dating, he hung over at my place mainly, and I didn't carry a lot of unhealthy snacks for him to snack on at night. This fact is very relevant for the story. Once we got married, things went downhill very quickly. He started inhaling as many snacks and as much dairy as possible at night. Sometimes he would go out and get a deep dish, fried cheese, loaded pizza and devour it at 11 p.m. after eating an entire bag of greasy chips and like 27 pieces of toffee, and a glass of milk, or 3. At first I thought it was just a bad fart here and there, but as the nights progressed, I realized that the bad farts were becoming a nightly nightmare. I know what normal stinky farts are, even bad sulfuric farts, but these are not simply either of those. These farts are incompatible with life itself. The first time one really hit me in the face, I projectile vomited. I could taste them. They were almost tangible objects in the air. I'm convinced they are soaked into the carpet and walls. Rotten egg is not even enough to describe what the smell is. It's almost as if something literally died inside of his stomach and was leaking into the air trying to kill anyone that smells it. His farts are not human. They are not silly little rotten egg farts. There is something wrong with him. Truly, these farts are almost alive with a mind of their own. And they are terrifying. If there was a horror movie made about farts, it would be about his. They are unsettling at best. They make your mind feel like something bad happened, perhaps a murder. Your spirit does not feel settled because these are not normal farts in any way at all. These are violently horrifying. It got to the point where I had to stop sleeping in our bedroom the second month of marriage. Not only that, but I had to blast the air conditioning, stuff towels under our door, stuff towels under my daughter's door, turn the fan on in both rooms, and sleep in her room with her. He snuck into her room and farted when I was almost asleep so that I would start dry heaving. I had to start sleeping with the door locked with her. I started routine prescription nausea medicine to keep my food down at night, just in case, because it was becoming kind of health hazard because of how sick it was making me. When I asked him if he thought the amount of food he was inhaling every night was causing his farts, he said yes. I asked if maybe he could slow down or substitute for healthier snacks, such as sea salt popcorn, or a bit lighter and less full of thick cheese snacks, and he said no. His reasoning: he said he likes the way the farts feel exiting his butt as they vibrate his prostate and butthole. Like, I'm not even kidding, he freaking said that. I'm so horrified that I even typed that. My life became a living nightmare as I could no longer sleep in my room and also remain alive. My desk was in my room, so I also had to stop working in the daytime from my bedroom. He works from home in the bedroom too. I had to change the entire situation just to cater to the pleasure of his farts. I tried desperately to get him to go to a doctor. I found referrals to gastroenterologists. I bought him probiotics, enzymes, milk substitutes. I cooked healthy meals. He would literally tell me he didn't want a healthy meal and drive himself to Taco Bell instead. He refused to go to the doctor. He took the probiotics sometimes, but usually just pretended to and slipped them by his nightstand so I wouldn't see that he didn't take them. Knowing I was going to have to remain on prescription nausea meds, possibly for life, just to cohabitate with this man was so mind-blowing. Our budget was going crazy to keep up with the demands of the amount of food needed to keep his farting for pleasure needs met. At one point, he literally inhaled so much food so fast and so non-stop that he gained 12 pounds in 48 hours and he looked at the scale and screamed. I tried to get him into therapy and a psychiatrist, but no. I am a very body-positive person that does not fat shame and genuinely believes that you should eat what makes you feel healthy and good, and not worrying about hitting some numbers on a scale. The situation, however, feels like a very disastrous issue that is very weird and not very common, something that people probably can't relate to because it's just completely absurd in every way. He said he will always choose that vibrational fart feeling and the fart smell and the grease snacks and the cheese above me. He said that is a hill he is forever willing to die on. Anyway, that is the story of why I'm divorcing my husband over farts. On the surface level, I know it sounds like it's just about farts and then I'm just a really shallow wife, but I think it's actually so much deeper. It's just hard to explain how.